All righty, and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's good? It is your host with the most, Vince here. And of course, we got our favorite YouTube buddy here, Russ, as well. How are we doing, Russ?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, I know I picked the right team to win it.
Get out of here, man. We ain't gonna start. We ain't gonna start with that. Where are you at right now?
Well, trying to make it home, man. After watching these Pacers destroy your pick tonight.
Okay, nah. See, we ain't about to start this live stream like that now, okay? Don't forget who got Pacers in 6. And you know who's looking real good? Me, not you.
It's one
Now, no, no,
game.
no. See, here's the thing, you guys. The video that we did where we talked about who do you predict is going to win game 3, I have to admit, it was not my real pick. This guy, Russ, my guy, Russ, is so persuasive. He had me really thinking, you know what? Maybe the Pacers drop game 1 and then game 3, and then they go ahead and win game 4 to tie it up. But then they also win game 5. I just got the order wrong. So, you know what? After today's game, we're definitely going to talk about who we got for game 4 because I don't want to hear no more slander. You were right on this one, but your other picks as far as the Thunder winning 3 straight in a row, don't worry. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you when it don't happen.
Oh, man. It's about to get real hot in here. And
yes.
I ain't even in California.
This guy, bro. All right. Well, hey, if you guys didn't check out the game, as you can see on the title, man, Indiana Pacers handled the OKC Thunder to take a 116 to 107 win at home. They had a bounce back game. And of course, a lot of that was led by Mr. Tyrese Haliburton. Congratulations. We have been big advocates of you, my friend, as far as the amazing postseason run you've had. Now, you've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. You've had some inconsistencies, but perhaps it is just in the making of something great. And you definitely had yourself a great game today. We're going to go into the box score here shortly. But before we do, you guys, of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn your notification bell on. That way, whenever we do go live, especially in the postseason, you guys will be able to tune in and come in. Leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts on the game, or if we said something that you agree with or disagree, let us know down below. And of course, like and share with your friends. All right, man, I'm going to go right into the box score. Let's kind of see exactly what we got here, man. Now, I don't know if you – yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is exactly what I said. I emphasized Alex Caruso, you cannot bet on him having 20 points. That game was such an outlier, and that was in OKC. So you expect Alex Caruso to do some home cooking. But when you know when the home team goes on the road, you could have expected a drop off on that. That was predictable. But what we saw here was it was a very top heavy team tonight. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. I mean, look at the box score here. You got 20 from Chet, 26 from Jalen, 24 from Shea. I'm going to say that again. 24 from Shea. Now, normally when you talk about somebody scoring 24 points, you're like, okay, cool. Like, they did a good job. But the story has been Shea has been cooking. He had, 38 in game 1 and then 34 with efficient shooting in game 2. So Shea having 24 is not like most players having 24. And he only took 20 attempts this time and was not super efficient, but was not terrible efficient as well. But the biggest circle I have to put is the free throw attempts. Shea only went to the line 6 times in this game, and you have to give a shout out to the officiating because unlike game 2, but very similar to game 1, the officiating allowed a lot more physicality to take place, which allowed the Pacers to put a lot more wear and tear on Shea, which, as you can see towards the end of the game, he was exhausted. You could see it. He was literally trying to stop Tyrese Haliburton contested the shot one moment, and then the next moment, basically, we found him with his hands on his knees, basically just trying to figure out, like, bro, like, I need a break, right? I mean, he played 42 minutes. He played the most minutes overall for the team. But when you look at the bench, I mean, as far as the bench scoring in this game, you only had 18 total points. That means Alex Caruso and Andrew Wiggins scored 0 points. Alex Caruso had 8. So what you said as far as the Alex Caruso game is absolutely correct, Russ. But I don't think any of us could have expected Aaron Wiggins to have such a drop off from game 2 to game 3. And definitely a top heavy game overall for the Thunder. What's your thoughts and what's your opinion on that, bro?
Well, about the Aaron Wiggins not scoring anything, or
well, just the bench, just the bench overall. The bench not coming through for the Thunder.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was kind of to be expected, as and I really hate saying this, but
oh my gosh, this guy is obnoxious.
I was like, no, the thing is man, I have the all playoffs, man. I have not been as on point as I have been on this series. And I told y'all that when the Thunder go back home, they're going to get punched in the mouth by the Pacers. Not in terms of like the game, but like in terms of like, okay, they're not at home anymore. So it's a crazy adjustment because you start the finals at home, 2 games. You get comfortable. Then you go to the Pacers, and you already knew the Pacers could beat you even at your home. So you knew it was going to be tough for the Thunder at Indiana, and you knew that crowd was going to be electric because 25 years without feels like it without even a playoff berth. But we know that Paul George Indiana team back then in the 13 to 14 years, they were good. But man, this Pacers team just seems like on another level. I would just say that the Pacers, we knew that they were going to be good at home, and now it's on the Thunder to adjust for Game 4, and I think that's where, I'm going to say this on the next show too, dude. The Thunder, they make these adjustments, and they haven't lost 2 in a row for a long, long time. So I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row now. I think they're going to get comfortable in Indiana, win that Game 4, come back home in OKC and win that game, and then go back to Indiana knowing they won 2 in a row and close them out knowing it's for the ring. I'm telling you, that's a pretty solid guess, I would say, an educated guess, because to me that's the way it's going right now. But the Pacers are proving that they are a good team and that they're not a record to mess with for sure. What did you see in the game?
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as the game goes, I would say that the box score actually for in this case, the box score does help us kind of get a grasp of what happened. So to start the game, OKC really did good. I mean, they were up by 8 in that first quarter, and it looked like they were carrying the momentum from game 2 over to game 3. But it was really the second quarter and the fourth quarter. So how the Pacers finished each half really made the difference. They ended up outscoring the OKC Thunder 40-28, not only closing the gap from that 8-point deficit that they had, but ended up with a 4-point lead going into halftime. And then going to start the second half, you see OKC adjusting. They ended up taking let me see here. I believe that's a 5-point lead. 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And then out of nowhere, again, you look at the score. They had the lowest scoring fourth quarter that I've had in any quarter, I want to say, in like a long time. I mean, the lowest scoring game I've seen the Thunder have that I can remember has to be that game where I don't know if it was the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, but I think it was the Nuggets, where it just seemed like both the Nuggets and the Thunder could not buy a bucket for like 1 quarter to start the game. But since then, they've consistently scored close to 30 or well over 30 every quarter. So I just thought overall the Pacers, man, they really made some great adjustments. Shout out to Rick Carlisle once again, his ability and his staff to be able to make in-game adjustments and game-to-game adjustments on the fly is phenomenal, and that's what got his team to go up the lead 2-1 right now. One of the things I do want to point out too, Russ, is just overall, man. I mean, you look at the bench scoring, right? That was the biggest difference. So in game 2, the bench didn't really give you much, right? But you could see early on that the bench was coming with a very big purpose, led by TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell had only 10 points, and 5 assists off of just 15 minutes, but those were very valuable 15 minutes. He set the tone defensively. He set the tone with his effort, his hustle, and that's exactly what the Pacers were missing, specifically in game 2, which resulted in losing. Game 3, TJ McConnell and, of course, Benedict Mathurin torched them as far as the bench. This wasn't even
Can
a
we just
game
give
that
some love to Benedict Mathurin, man? I mean, woo!
bro, you know
I
what?
would do it.
You can almost book Benedict Mathurin for at least 1 to 2 solid games in a series. He's literally had at least 1 to 2 solid games all postseason throughout each series, and this might have been the one that they needed, because a lot of us were being told earlier today that whoever takes game 3 tends to go win 80 to 85% of the time in the series. Okay, so that this win is extremely huge. If OKC won, you already know everybody's going to be saying, well, series is over. But because the Pacers are up, nobody wants to just say, okay, it's over. Nope, OKC haven't lost 2 games in a row, like you said. So a lot of people are going to take OKC for game 4. We're going to talk about who you got for game 4 here in a second. But one thing I want to ask you, Russ, very important here, if you want to take a quick look. Do you think this was a good game for the Pacers, or just a bad game for the Thunder? What's your take on that? Uh-oh. Can't hear you, bud. Oh. You there?
All right, sorry guys. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep. We hear you now.
Sorry.
What's your take?
My phone went and connected. Anyway, so I would say this is.
Hold on, you're frozen. You're frozen, my guy.
Okay, now that I'm on Wi-Fi, I am back.
He's in the boondocks,
technical
guys.
difficulties, guys. All right, now here we are. All right, what we're gonna do is I am going to tell you that this was a game that the Thunder 100% lost. This is, I don't understand how you can have Benedict Mathurin score 27 on you and it not be a defensive lapse, or just trying to understand, okay, did the pressure come down to the winner of the game? Because it felt like the Thunder just were lackadaisical. I don't even know. They didn't seem like they wanted to win it tonight. And to me, I am a little worried about my pick, to be honest, because this is like, really? My brain does not want to believe the Pacers are this good to where they're up 2-1 on the Thunder. Who would have guessed this? Definitely not the mainstream media, because you know how many. Hey, Vince, I know you picked him. I know you did. Naptown, let's go.
Go ahead.
We all know in my heart, we know who I wanted to win 2-0. I'm just playing it. All right, everybody. I'm going to go with the Thunder. That's my pick. That's who I think is still going to win. But am I worried? Yes. It doesn't make any sense. How can this Pacers team be that good? They can't be up 2-1 on our Thunder here. There's no way. This game was up in the air for the Thunder to take, and they just played with their food. They let the Pacers think that they could win it, and that's exactly what happened tonight. I think the Thunder are a better team, but for some reason, it's like these young cats, either the pressure's really getting to them now, because you know what they always say, it's not a series. Well, actually, obviously, the series was a series game 1, because it's not a series until the road team wins. But my thing is it's not a series until the home team goes away, because as soon as they go away, then you get to actually see what this series is going to be like. And if this is what the series is going to be like, because I was hoping maybe a closer game. I know it seemed close, but to me, it just still felt like the Pacers were going to win this game the whole time. I don't know about you, Vince, but do the Thunder even care? Because they don't look like it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to put it to you this way. I thought, just to kind of go off the question, I thought this was a good game, Pacers, and here's why. Again, very simple. This game 3 was very similar to game 1 in an aspect that I'm almost to the understanding right now that as long as the officiating is not getting in the way as far as the level of physicality that they allow for the finals, Pacers actually have the bigger advantage. Okay. Here's why. Because as we saw for this game for game 3, when the refs are allowing this level of physicality to go by, where you're not just calling these ticky tack fouls all game long, here and there, we understand, you're going to miss a call, whatever, right? Human nature. But when they allow a level of physicality that naturally just happens and you don't just automatically blow the whistle, the Pacers have legitimate size, especially on the wing. They're throwing multiple bodies at Shea, very similar to what the Thunder are doing to Haliburton on the defensive end. The biggest difference with this game is Haliburton clearly made a very big emphasis to start the game that he was going to get he was going to lead, he was not going to be as passive. But then with Shea, it almost seemed like he was not as aggressive. He allowed Jalen Williams to get more shot attempts, Chet Holmgren to get more shot attempts. It almost seemed like he was more passive this time. And so the roles had flipped in some ways. But the coolest thing with Haliburton is all he needs to do is just do what he does. If he just stays, if he literally just stays aggressive as far as his shot, like looking to shoot, that's literally all he's missing. If he looks to shoot, he's got enough to get a triple double when he wants. He almost got a triple double today, and it was very efficient. Outside of a couple of dumb turnovers he had in certain sequences early on in the game, I thought he played a very flawless game. He controlled the pace, he looked for a shot, he did a lot of great things. But overall, I just thought that this was definitely a good game for the Pacers overall. The bench showed up. What the heck? All righty. Here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, like I said, man, I just thought that overall, it's one of those things where the Pacers, they clearly wanted this and they got it. And I'm gonna really preface this on the box score because again, not everything's about the box score, but it does tell a lot. When you look at the box score here, what was one of the biggest key factors that I said needed to change in game 3 for the Pacers to win? Pascal Siakam, their leading scorer, had to shoot more and shoot more efficient. He ended up with 21 points and was +8. Then I also said Tyrese Haliburton. He had to be more aggressive with his shot attempts. He only took, I think, like 13 or 11 shots in game 2, and then he took 17. It was efficient, 9 for 17 here. He was 4 for 8 from 3, led the way from 3, and he finished with 22, 9, 11, 2 steals, 1 block. And he played amazing defense, especially later on in the stretch, which was very key to be able to stop the Thunder from really doing what they wanted to. That's really how they were able to hold them from 18, because it wasn't just your typical defenders on the Pacers that were doing what they normally do to slow down the Thunder in the fourth quarter, but you would see extra effort attempts from Haliburton, from Neesmith, even the bench from Mathurin, from McConnell, even Thomas Bryant had his moments, even though he didn't play much. Like, you just saw much more unity as far as the defensive end from the Pacers this game than you did from game 2, and that's what led them to getting this win. But here's one thing I am curious about real quick is I want to look a little more into the team stats, because remember that one of the key things too for game 2 was the Thunder had way more assists than they did in game 1. I think they only had like 15 assists. They bumped it up to like 25 or 26 assists in game 2. And then the rebounds, they out rebounded the Pacers by I think like +9. And so I kind of want to see how it's looking here. Just going off here, it does look like the Pacers were out rebounded by 6, yet somehow they were still able to get more shot attempts. Interesting.
Hey, wow.
Very interesting.
It was Pacers versus refs this game, and the Pacers still won.
Yeah. And then look at the assists though. The Thunder had only 16 assists this game. I mean, I think that might be a formula at this point, because if you can hold the Thunder from really getting good ball movement and forcing them to just be one-on-one players like we saw Chet try to do a lot of times against Miles Turner, that didn't work out. Then you saw Jalen Williams try to do that a lot of times. That didn't work out. Even Shea tried to do it a lot of times, and you know, sometimes him trying to like just draw a foul, they swallow their whistle today. And so when you have something like that happen, this is the results you get, because now the Pacers can truly play to their advantage. They have size, which is not being talked about. They have big wings, and they do have a good perimeter and post defense as well. They just have to be locked in. And then I mean, at the end of the day, too, the
The game
turnovers.
the
Go
game
ahead.
was the game was decided right here over the blocks. 11-4. It was block party up in here, man.
That's
11
what I
to
was gonna say.
4.
They say defense wins championships. They don't talk a lot about the Pacers' defense because they're such a high-scoring, high-power offense. But in this game, you can see they have the culture, they have the personnel capable of really defending, especially given the refs allow a little bit more leniency towards the physicality that they allow. There's lots of times where you would see Shea typically try to hit a player like Neesmith or Nemhart with a specific move and try to draw the foul, but instead they didn't give it to him. They play on, and that's the key. Like, it's almost like you can bank on who's going to win the game based on how the officiating's going. Like, real talk, because at this point, if they allow ticky tack fouls, it's going to play in the Thunder's hand because you got Mr. MVP Shea, who loves to draw the fouls, gets his calls, and he likes to test the waters early in the game. Early in the game, if he can tell, okay, the officiating is starting to kind of allow things to happen, in terms of allowing me to go to the free throw line, you're going to try to bait as much as you can. But as soon as you can tell that they're not, suddenly now you're forced to have to come up with other ways to come up with points. And we know Shea's capable. We've seen him. Like, this is not any Shea hate at all. He had 24 points, but 24 points again to him is not the same as others. And so you definitely expect game 4. Shea is going to probably come out a lot more aggressive. He's probably going to come out a lot more, probably shooting more. I can almost guarantee you he's not going to take 20 attempts. I don't know if that's in like your betting odds or anything like that, but you can almost book plus 20 field goal attempts. He's probably going to be somewhere in the ballpark between 25 to 30 field goal attempts. Book it right now. But yeah, man, I mean, overall, the biggest thing I love too is the turnovers. That's been the theme so far these first 2 games for the Pacers. They cannot stop turning the ball over. Even the game that they won, they had a freaking 25 turnover
24.
game. 24, 25, I don't even care. Too many. They finally figured it out. They actually had a game where they forced more turnovers than the Thunder. When was the last time we saw that? It's wild. And so that really is the key. Defensively, as you can see in the box score, but also just watching the game in the flow, even when they weren't coming up with timely steals or timely blocks, they were still getting deflections and they were still affecting the shot enough to be able to get a rebound, which is why they weren't overly out-rebounded in this one. And we know the Pacers have not been known as a good rebounding team, even though they have Miles Turner, even though they have Pascal Siakam, but they rebound as a team. When your point guard, Tyrese Haliburton, can come up with 9 rebounds, you know that they're locked in on that end because they know they need to.
You know what's crazy in all this? Take away Ben Mathurin tonight and his points, and game 1 and game 3 are the Pacers wins. Haven't even played well is the crazy part.
That's a valid point. The Pacers have not even reached their ceiling yet. They still have so much. Look at this. Miles Turner was inefficient 3 for 11. 1 for 4 from 3, had just 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, but 5 blocks? He's out there looking like AD on the defensive end.
You know what? He actually does look like AD out there. You know what's funny? Sometimes I'd be thinking he AD out there. The way he be moving, he just looked like he top heavy.
And you know what's crazy, bro? I remember when the Lakers literally had talked about getting Miles Turner. Could you imagine if they had Anthony Davis and Miles Turner? Bro. All right, that's the last time we're going to talk about Lakers.
Definitely the Miles Turner of now, not before, because, I mean,
correct.
They were close to trading. They were close to trading him away too. I feel like obviously they haven't, but the team hasn't. The Pacers have just kind of Cinderella story swept us under the rug, or swept us off of our feet in the last year. Because like last year, like they were just another team. I feel like they weren't like, sure, they were in the playoffs, And I think last year they did make it to the conference finals. They lost to the Celtics. But like none of us had even like put two thoughts into like the Pacers being anything. And it's like they didn't really jump off the charts. But this year, I don't know. It's just like things have clicked, things have worked, and they've gotten this far. I mean, I want to know who the guy is who put money on the Pacers because I think it was like beginning of the season or something like that. Because man saw vision.
You know what?
This is crazy.
You know what?
Who
I
would have
know
thought that they'd be up on the Thunder?
Hey, you just reminded me something, bro.
Don't tell me you put money on the Pacers.
No. So one thing I love to do, you guys, is although we have this channel, I do like to kind of check out other platforms. Obviously, you know, like ESPN, First Things First. We love First Things First. Shout out to them. And so what I like to do sometimes is I like to hit the comment section and see what's being said. This guy, unfortunately, he probably doesn't even know about us yet, but this guy literally said, I will streak at Gamebridge Friday night if Pacers win game 3. I responded and said, gonna hold you to this. And then others was said, bet, get ready, don't lie. And then somebody else said, I'll be worse. So you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to hit this guy up right now, and I'm gonna say, well, get ready to streak. Because a bet is a bet, man. You said if you're a man of your word, I don't care, man. We may not know who you are on a personal level, but if you're a man of your word, if you say you're going to do something, I'm going to hold you to it. And I need to see the proof, too. I'm going to have to tell him, hey, man, send that video to our channel. We'll have to put that posted. That is going to be hilarious.
Wait. A video of him doing what? Streaking?
Yeah, of course we're gonna blur it out and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. I was saying, I don't know how to do that, man.
Grown man booty. Come on now.
Hey, I mean, you know what they say about $20 is $20. Well, in the YouTube channel, it's called views. Hey, views are views, man. Whatever it takes.
Oh yeah, I'm telling him right now. Tell him, hey, look, man. Hey, I said, hey, get ready, man, because they won. Be a man of your word. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna have to follow this one, man. I have to tell you.
Yeah, call him out, send him our channel link, and then tell him, hey, send the video to this email. We will. I mean, you probably have to tell him to blur it out because I don't think you probably can send it over the email and feel comfortable as a man knowing that like there's somebody else got a video of you streaking. But hey, if it does come through,
that is big pause. No, that's big pause. Yeah, we ain't doing all that. All right. Hey, now one thing I know that the viewers, and by the way, you guys, thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, hit a like. We already know what it is, man. Share with your friends. We're gonna be going live after the game, pretty much all playoff season long. Which basically at this point, I mean, you got 2-1. We got to guarantee at least 3 more games. So if you're not already tuned in, turn your notification bell on so when we do go live, you can hop right in and we'll go right in with the topics and everything like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep. But real quick, Russ, one thing I'm sure that the audience wants to know, because unfortunately when they came in, they didn't quite hear your grand entrance over here gloating about your pick and whatnot. So go ahead and say what your pick was once more so you can get it out of the system, because I know I'm not when I'm right.
No, I just want to know.
You, man. Let the people know what's up, bro. Here, I'll give you
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Because he's cooking up these Pacers in Game 3, man. They're on fire. You got Benedict Mathurin showing up out of the woodworks, man. And I was right.
All right. That concludes his low time there. Yep.
It's going to be a lot, though, because Thunder winning 3 in a row, that is a lot to ask upon somebody when they've shown us in this series. I need those memes where it's like it shows like Michael Jordan and then like how they're playing in this series and it slowly transitions their face into like somebody who's less good, you know?
Yeah.
It's like right now it's like we got SGA turning into Lance Stevenson, you know? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, who is this? I mean, who are these Thunder? You know, this isn't the team that's shown us. I thought the West playoffs was tough. We talked about this West being what did they call the West all year?
The Wild West.
Yeah, exactly. They call it Wild Wild West, but yet low key feel like these Pacers would have taken out all the West teams even worse. I mean, you would have thought the West was tougher than the East, but hey, also goes to show you that all these years they were telling, oh, the East is weak, the East is weak. Hey, when was the last time somebody in the East actually won back-to-back conference finals? Just saying. They said the East was weak, but now it's, oh, the West is weak. Or not weak, but now the East is stronger or something. That's the excuse they're saying now. It's like LeBron made going to the finals 9 times in a row look easy, but
Look, I know you're a Bron sexual, but we don't got to bring Bron up. He ain't even in the playoffs right now. Okay, we talking Pacers, Thunder, and some of us. Go ahead.
My point being is it just doesn't make any sense. Like, is anybody else shocked by this? Anybody else guess that the Pacers would have been here in the finals up 2-1? I'm just saying, like, please comment in this section and tell me who you are, because
I'd like to know. I'd like to know who you guys originally thought was going to make the finals. That's a great question to ask because I don't think a lot of people would have assumed the Pacers, but I actually don't think a lot of people would assume the Thunder either, especially after going to Game 7 against the Nuggets. I don't really think that a lot of people really felt that confident about the Thunder making it because the storyline we kept hearing at that time was the Thunder were still too young, inexperienced. They've never made it there yet before, even though they got the projected at the time MVP in Shea. Nobody really felt super confident, even though the beginning of the year, the odds obviously were in their favor. They were the second best odds to make it to the finals, only behind the Celtics, who got out of there thanks to the Knicks. Bing bong. And at the end of the day, oh, what's up, Lil Luca? What's good?
Hey, my boy Luca. He's been dieting all summer. Get ready, Lakers. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm dead.
It's skinny Luca. It's all what you wanted, guys.
I'm dead. But nah, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I will just put it to you this way. I have been really tracking after the Lakers got blown out 5-1 or 4-1 in the Timberwolves in the first round, which is embarrassing. My interest kind of got down for a bit, right? But at that point, I kind of just didn't care about the West. I always like the way I look at it. The only team I want to win is the Lakers. Okay, if you're not the Lakers, I don't care who makes the finals. If you're in the West, I don't want you to win. Simple. And so the East, I will say this, right? Yes, it's been told a lot that the East is weak, but I think what a lot of people mean is they're top heavy. Like usually you got the top 4, top 5 teams, and then everybody else is a drastic drop off. You got obviously this year, right? You got the Cavs, you got the Knicks, you got the Celtics, you got the Pacers, you got the Bucks. Outside of that, who else you really got? We had moments where we saw Orlando maybe do something. We saw Detroit blossom this year. Nobody predicted that. But when you look at the West, it's all over the place. It's top heavy. It's truly wild because
honestly, who did you think was going to go to the finals?
But that's what I'm saying. Of course, if I'm not being objective, I wanted the Lakers to go. But if I wasn't going to say the Lakers, then I could have easily said any teams. I could have said Denver. I could have the MVP, the real MVP. No offense, but the real MVP with Jokic. I could have said the Thunder, who are there now. I could have said the Rockets. I could have said the Golden State Warriors. I could have said the freaking Timberwolves. They were looking primed and ready. All we kept hearing the whole time was how freaking Anthony Edwards was going on a legendary run, taking out all these legends. But then as soon as he gets waxed in the Western Conference Finals to the Thunder, they're real quick to switch the narrative to, he's just 23. He's still got maturing to do. He's still got a lot of learning to do. And so it is still the Wild West. But I will say this, during the offseason, we are going to have a crazy offseason. And we're going to have some videos on this pretty soon. So definitely stay in tune. Video will probably be out by tomorrow. But if KD goes out east, if Giannis stays out east, I mean, shoot, if we get a couple more players out the West to go east, you never know what can happen.
Giannis is not going to California. Think about it. How does
not California. They're saying there's a higher chance, and again, we're going to talk about this in another video, but they're saying there's a higher likelihood that if he is going to move, he's going to go to either New York, he's going to go to, like, say, Houston. those are like the main attractive places, you know? And so I don't
taxes too.
know. Huh?
Taxes too, man. California, man, no, seriously, they rip you in the taxes. Like, it was like 50% of your earnings. I mean, Shaq said it himself because he knows he was in LA. They take a lot of your money, which is crazy because like you play the same sport, you do the same things, but when you're a millionaire and stuff in sports like this, taxes is nuts. How much
Bro,
they take?
even making six figures, it's nuts. Like the amount of taxes you got to pay in this country, depending on where you're at. So I hear you, but at the same time, I can't say I feel for them because shoot, you're a
Right.
millionaire. Like, you know, pay your
Yeah,
taxes.
for sure. But if you could do the exact same thing, but make more money, where would you go? A place where
I
you
would
pay
go to
less
Texas.
taxes. Exactly.
Texas, baby, all day, every day.
Exactly. And the Wild Wild West, man, it's just like it's all about matchups, like you said, right? You run into the
Mhm.
wrong person, and the team you thought could go to the finals loses. That's the thing is to me, I feel like the Nuggets would have had a better chance against these Pacers than the Thunder do. But unfortunately, the Thunder are a worse matchup for the Nuggets.
And it just goes to show, man, matchups make a difference. We've heard it before, and it really does make a difference in this case because arguably, this is the reason why I felt confident with my Pacers and 6 pick because I felt like if there was a team that could keep up with the pace that the Thunder sometimes can unleash on teams, they can, right? In fact, they can even do better. Like if you got into a racing game, the Pacers are actually going to be the one over the Thunder in this case. Now we're just starting to experience the physicality. And one could even argue once the Pacers had to go up against the Knicks, that series alone right there, I think that's really what unlocked this team defensively as far as the level of physicality that they need to play. Because when we saw them beat the Bucks very handily in 5, they weren't playing defense like this. They were playing good defense, but it was their offense carrying. When we see them, gentlemen, sweep the Cavs, they didn't play defense like this. They just, again, kind of repeat from the first round. And then you see that third round matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. It was, you really didn't know what you're going to get for most people. A lot of people had Knicks in 5, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7. I seem to be the only person that said Pacers in 6 for some reason. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm a prophet. I'm not trying to say I know everything. I think I know a little bit, which is why we created this channel. And so I will say that I felt like the Pacers could not have gone up against a better opponent to prepare them for the finals than the Knicks because that specific series quite literally was a brawl. I mean, it was old school basketball the way that a lot of us like to see it. We want to see physicality allowed. We want to see players be able to really showcase their skills, be able to see teams truly be able to galvanize with each other. One of the biggest stories that we're hearing right now, even in the finals, from both the Pacers and from the Thunder side, is that shoot, they're just winning off of friendship. And that's really cool because as a Laker fan, shoot, I can't remember the last time we felt that. 2020 was a golden year. And then unfortunately, they got rid of all of our players. And now look at where we're at. So, but either way, man, I just think it's insane because at the end of the day, you know, clearly a lot of people did not expect the Pacers to win today. So that's why in the title you see it says Pacers stun the Thunder. But at the same time, I'm not really that stunned. I knew that Rick Carlisle, as their coach, especially, he's been here before. I'll throw it back again. 2011, who was coaching the Dallas Mavericks team that went on to win the NBA championship in 6 games against the Miami Heat Heatles, led by MVP LeBron James? That would be Rick Carlisle. If he can do that against the best
Just bringing
player,
up LeBron now, you Bron sectionals. I know.
I'm not a bronze sexual. You can see that.
Hey, man, you brought up LeBron, man. No difference around here.
All I'm going to say is Rick Carlisle put respect on that man's name because all this talk about Dagnall, oh, he's coach of the year before, this, that, and third, he knows we like, blah, blah, blah. No, Rick Carlisle, one could argue if they really wanted to, I mean, I'm not trying to say they could have got game 2, but you could tell they were not giving their best. I almost felt like he was playing chess in this case instead of checkers. he just kind of said, hey, we did our part. We got that first game. Now let's try some different schemes. Let's see what we can do. Because he understands it's not about who's it's really about the first to 4, not the first to 1. And so when they stole that first game, it gave him leeway to kind of try some things out. And perhaps that's the reason why the Pacers weren't as aggressive as a whole, not just Tyrese, but also Pascal and a lot of the other cast members. And so with this game, you could see they turned it up. They have that gear that we call championship level basketball. And at this point, going up 2-1, only 2 more down to go, it's looking real scary, man. So here, let's go ahead and finish out this video real quick, Russ. I'm going to bring you in the studio. I want to ask you flat out real quick before we go. Tell me who you got for game 4 and tell the audience why.
Well, game 4, I got the Thunder because that's how they got to win the series. I mean, if I said in 6, I mean, the only thing that makes sense is that the Thunder win 3 in a row. That's the only way that they could win in 6, which I'm pretty confident about. So you see my face, looking straight in you in the eye, and I'm being serious here. Okay, see, I winning the next 3 in a row.
All right, that's what you got for game 4, man. So
I mean, like I said, the reasoning behind it is because they had to get punched in the mouth at the Indiana home to get comfortable, make those adjustments, win game 4, go back home, win that game because OKC is very hard to win at. Obviously, the Pacers did it, but I feel like the Thunder are a little bit more comfortable now. So they win the last game at Indiana, win going home to OKC, and then they go back to Indiana. I feel like they already felt comfortable and really into the series now that they win it. I mean, I can't tell you that's 100% what's going to happen, but that's just what I feel like I could see happening. And I don't know, this series is going to surprise us. It's one of those weird series where you're just like, you know how it was like 2021, Suns go up 2-0, and we're like, dude, this Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton trio, 2-0. They were talking some dynasty, some mad-ish,
that's a good point.
And look,
that's a great point.
4 in a row. And then where are they at? Where? Oh, wait, they're not even on the same team anymore? Crazy.
Dude, one of them's looking for a job. The other one barely hanging on to a job. The other one's basically mentoring at his job. So that's a great point, man. I will say, though, the Thunder have not been as cocky as that Phoenix Suns team, but there's levels to this, and one could argue that, again, the Pacers, they are more equipped for this. They did make a conference finals last year, and although it didn't go their route, all offseason long, they were told how they didn't belong, how they got lucky, and how they were counted out all season long to start this year. And Tyrese had talked about that. It wasn't just him that was pissed off. It was the entire team, and they brought that entire team back and then some. And so, one thing I do want to do real quick before I give out my call, I got to give a shout out to my church friend Joel. So Joel, if you're tuned in right now, I don't know if you are or not. This is for you, my guy. He sent me a text message before the game, or right when the game started. He told me, and I quote, "Just talk to my pharmacist. ... He reminded me it's not about basketball, it's about the money. Indiana wins tonight. It's going 7 games just to squeeze as much as they can out of it." So he called this game. So now the question is going to be, who's right? I said Pacers in 6. You said Thunder in 6. He says it's going to game 7. One of us is going to be right. And so with that being said, who do I got for game 4?
Well, you have to go.
I got the Pacers, baby. Let's go. I'm going to shock you all now. Here's how it's going to happen, okay? And I'm going to bring a caveat because I'm sick and tired of getting disrespected by these damn refs, all right? Because it's the refs that's screwing up my picks, all right? For real. This is how it's going to work. In game 4 in Indiana, if the refs allow the same level of physicality that took place in game 1 and game 3, Pacers are going home. 3-1. I'm calling it. However, if the refs interfere like they did in game 2, I can see the Thunder winning and tying it up to go back home in OKC 2-2. So a lot of my pick has to do with how the refs are calling the game. Because if the refs are allowing finals level basketball, Pacers are going to shock everybody again, and they're going to go up 3-1. And I know what that means, Russ. That means that this OKC Thunder team would have done something that they have not done all season, and that's lose back-to-back games. I'm calling it right now. I already said that the Pacers were already destined, okay? I called it a long time ago. If you don't believe me, folks, go check out our past videos. I called it the moment I started noticing this run. The Cinderella run is alive. We didn't get in college this year. It seems to be alive in the NBA. And the Pacers seemed well equipped to go ahead and win in 6. And I think they're going to take game 4. I could see them possibly losing game 5 because it is back in OKC. But they're going to wrap this series up in home for game 6. That's my pick. So, folks, y'all let us know what y'all think. Who do you think is going to take game 4? Y'all let us know. Because at this point, shoot, I really don't know. But you know what? That's how I feel. Russ said how he feels. I said how I feel. Y'all let us know in the comment section down below how you feel.
Hold on. I need, let us know in the comment section who you think's going to win, guys, game 4. But Vince, let me pull up my camera here and go ahead and say your pick again. So I can send it to you next week.
Okay, you want to play games? No, bring the camera here. I look sexy. Let me go. Bring the camera here.
Hey, I already got it on video. We're recording it out. No need.
Yeah.
But I wanted to let you know. You said Pacers game 4. That is your pick?
Yep.
Lock your pick, and we'll see. We will see. You just wait. You think that the Pacers are going to beat the Thunder 2 games in a row?
A lot of it depends on how the flow of the game
I'm
is.
I'm going to go as far as saying the Thunder are going to beat the Pacers by 20 in game 4.
On the road?
They're going to beat the Pacers by 20 plus game 4. I'm going to look like a fool right now, but you wait until after game 4. 20 plus.
So you got 20 plus. You know what? I got the Pacers at least up by 10. Double digits.
Okay.
Y'all let us know what y'all think down below.
Y'all better tune in.
Hey, tune in because you know what? If I'm right, you're definitely going to want to tune into our next live on Friday. Oh. If he's right, you're definitely going to want to tune in as well. I'm just going to keep it a stack because one of us is going to be obnoxious.
Have a good night.
You don't want it to be me, Russ.
And
you don't want it. I'm dead, man. Y'all salute. Take care, man. Appreciate you.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Russ and Vince Courtside Podcast, where we bring you the hottest NBA moments, discussions, and everything in between. If you like today's show, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a Courtside Podcast again.